And now the reason why we are all here today, our patients. We are fortunate to have a patient family speaker here tonight, Nick Ryan, who have experienced the difference that a CHOP breakthrough can make for a family. Please join me in welcoming CHOP patient father and member of the Golf Classic Committee, Nick Ryan.
How's everybody doing?
Great.
First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for being here today. So, my name is Nicholas Ryan, and today I'll be sharing with you a story about how Children's Hospital of Philadelphia affected my life, but specifically my son Nico, Jameson, Ryan. I'd like to start off by explaining to you where it all started. It all started probably similar to most of you out there today. I've been donating a CHOP for some time over the years, and fundraised and sponsored different things throughout my time, but personally never been affected with my family or a loved one that needed care at CHOP. And then one day I was invited to an amazing event, the CHOP Annual Golf Classic, right here at Seaview Country Club. I had an absolutely amazing day that day. Never had a bad day on the golf course, but this one was special. The Marshmallow Longest Drive. After the round, I participated in the Marshmallow Longest Drive. It was hilarious to see all you big guys take a big swing and hit that squishy little thing 5 feet, 8 feet, 7 feet. And after I watched all these pitiful attempts, I said to myself, I'm gonna give it a shot. So I got up there and I gave it my best effort. And before I knew it, boom! I hit the marshmallow clear across the green. So I went up to the CHOP attendant that was working the event, and I said, because I'm thinking to myself, I've done so many fundraisers throughout the year, different CHOP outings, golf outings, none of which have raised anywhere near the amount of money that we've raised today. So I'm thinking to myself, man, I must win a Rolex, maybe a BMW, a cruise to the Bahamas. The possibilities were endless. So I went up to the CHOP representative and I said, what do I win? And she said, you win a hand-painted plate. And I said, seriously, I don't know if you heard me, I won the longest drive contest. What do I win? And she said, you win a hand-painted plate by one of our current oncology patients right at Children's Hospital. And in that moment, I felt about this small. I felt completely embarrassed and ashamed. I couldn't believe that I was so shallow to think about what's in it for me. And in that moment, I learned it's not about what's in it for me. It's not about what's in it for you. Yeah, we're here to have a great time, but at the end of the day, the main purpose of this event and all the events that CHOP do is to raise money to make sure that CHOP is a world-renowned hospital for today and moving forward for the rest of eternity. So then I had to get involved. At the end of the event, I went over to the CHOP representatives and I asked, how can I get more involved? I want to help. I told them, if you need manpower, fundraising, sponsors, whatever, you let me know, I'm your guy. I was welcomed with open arms. And I haven't looked back. As I got more involved with CHOP, I eventually joined the board of this very committee right here, the CHOP Annual Golf Classic. I was so grateful to have the opportunity to be a part of such an amazing event. Not only can I play in it, but now I can be an advocate to spread the good word of CHOP and plan it and see full circle what this money does at the hospital. Being involved over the years now with CHOP, I've never in a million years, I promise you, ever thought that I would need, one of my loved ones would need care at this facility. So my wife and I, 4 years ago, decided we're going to start our family. I basically looked at my wife, she got pregnant. We had the easiest pregnancy in the history of pregnancies. My daughter popped out. She was the best kid you could ever imagine. She made parenting so easy. But my wife and I said, this parenting thing is pretty easy. We should have a million of them. Easier said than done. In the span of 1 year, unfortunately, my wife Janine suffered 3 miscarriages in a row. After a couple months, we started trying again. We were unsuccessful for about 7 months. We needed a break. Finally, after a quick trip to Disney World and getting some Florida sunshine, I looked at her again, and boom, we got pregnant again. And this time, this baby was here to stay. I could see the excitement back in my wife's eyes that this was really going to happen this time. We finally got to the 20-week checkpoint in August to find out the gender. At the appointment, the doctors told us something that still gives me chills to this day. We found out that our baby has a heart problem. I glanced over at my wife and I saw the light just vanish from her face. I could not believe, after everything that we've been through, that this was going to happen after all of that. When the gynecologist asked us if we wanted to know the gender, I told him to put it in an envelope. After not getting the news that we were expecting, we really didn't care if it was a boy or a girl. We just wanted a healthy baby. When we got home, my 4-year-old daughter said, Daddy, are we going to have a little brother or a little sister? And she would not give it up. She was relentless. Finally, I said, just let her open the envelope. When she opened the envelope, it said it was a boy. I really didn't believe her. I really didn't believe it. I grabbed the envelope for myself to make sure it was a boy, and sure enough, it was true. I grew up without a father. I always dreamed of having a father-son relationship of my own. In a moment where I didn't think I could be mentally, physically, or emotionally happy, hearing that it was a boy made me so happy and overjoyed I can't explain it. It changed my life completely. It was like, oh, it's a boy? My son? We'll be fine. The diagnosis. This is the part where CHOP came into our life. After countless tests, CHOP determined that our son had 4 major heart defects: a PFO, a VSD, a hypoplasia of the aorta, and coarctation of the aortic arch. In a nutshell, his heart was pretty jacked up. So we did what every scared and paranoid parent did. We Googled. Don't Google, people. It's the worst thing in the world. It was a lot of information to absorb. I felt my wife's spirit dwindling. I could see her wheels just spinning. So then we were so scared, and I could just see that she was trying to think of all the worst possible case scenarios. She wasn't handling this well. Between what we Googled and what the doctors had told us, my super strong wife reached her breaking point. She told me it was all hitting her at once. She was trying not to stress because obviously dealing with 3 miscarriages, she knew that stress is not good for the baby. But we were so paranoid of what was to come. I said, come on, let's go take a walk. Then I tried to turn into the best version of Tony Robbins. While we were taking our walk, I drew a line in the sand, and my wife said, what is that? I said, do you think kids just pop out of the womb and become amazing human beings? Or do you think that they have amazing parents that love them unconditionally and make them amazing people? My wife knew this was a rhetorical question because I do this all the time to her. I said, so here's the deal. You can sit on that side of the sand and you can feel bad for yourself and ask why and think negatively. Or you can join me on this side of the sand and we can be awesome parents together and address everything that's going to come our way no matter what. And we're going to love this kid probably 1,000 times more because of everything that he is going to go through. In that moment, Janine snapped out of it. And she snapped out of the funk that she was in, and I could see her come back to reality and look at things in a different, positive perspective. It was a very crucial key turning point in our family. Now CHOP had the best game plan. We continued to visit CHOP every week, sometimes 3 and 4 times a week, depending on what they suggested from the CHOP staff. I felt like we lived there. Each time we left feeling more and more confident and prepared about what was to come once the baby was born. Fast forward to December, it's go time. My wife was induced on the 17th and we had our baby boy on the 18th. The staff at CHOP didn't waste a second. They snatched him up immediately and started working on him. To make matters even more difficult, my son's cord was wrapped around his neck twice. Now he needed to have a procedure on his chest due to releasing the air that was built up around his lungs so he could breathe correctly. Once he was stable, we finally got to see our son, and we gave him his name, Nico, Jameson, Ryan. My wife and I were overjoyed that he was stable, but couldn't help but think was what was next to come. Our first nurse. People, I promise you, I know you all have smartphones. If you Google image perfect nurse, this woman will pop up. On this day, I met an absolutely incredible human being. Our CICU nurse, Nurse Millie Michelle. Let me tell you about Mill. She is the most super organized nurse, the most energetic, knowledgeable, charming, and had the best side manner you could ever imagine. She walked us right through everything that she was going to do at all times. She made us feel so comfortable about the entire process leading up to the surgery. She gave us a realistic preview of everything that was to come. We felt so great to have her in our corner, not only as an expert nurse, but as a friend. Two very scared parents. Then it was surgery day. Here's a day we've been dreading, but we've been looking forward to it for the past 20 weeks. Nurse Mill walked us down over to meet the anesthesiologist and the OR team. We started finding our love yous to our son that we had barely had time to spend time with. We handed him off to the CHOP staff, and the double doors closed, and it became very real. It was finally happening. No turning back now. I have to say, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how powerful you think you are, who you know, how smart you are. In that moment as a parent, when you feel absolutely helpless, it is the worst feeling in the world. And when those double doors closed, I would have ripped my own heart out to make sure that my own son could have felt no pain and didn't have to deal with any of this. But unfortunately, there's nothing that we could do. And the only thing that we could do was trust that CHOP was going to do what they did. Because that's what they're known for. And I was ready to bet on that. Right after that, I got to meet a real-life superhero. Her name is Stephanie Fuller. I shared with her everything my wife and I had been through to get to this point, and that we were good parents and even better people. I told her that I knew that she was a top surgeon in the top hospital for a reason. We had full faith in her, but please, please, please take good care of our son. She shared with me this message. I treat every child as they're my own. I promise you that I will take the best care of your little boy. With my eyes full of tears, I asked Dr. Fuller if it was okay if I gave her a hug. In that moment, she gave me the best hug I could have ever asked for. We walked away knowing that she was the right doctor for us and in the right parenting hands. Jeannie and I went back to the hospital room and gathered our things. I sat on the couch, and my wife sat on the bed across from us. I buried my head in my hands and stared at the floor. Everything I just told you about just hit me. In warp speed, my duty of being the rock of the family, the positive person, it was over. And inside I was falling apart. I started to break down thinking about everything that I've been through with my wife. I don't think I've ever cried so much in my life until today. But then I looked across from me and I saw my wife was having a similar moment. So I kind of snapped out of it. And I went over to her. I said, "Come here." I said, "Give me a hug." I said, "I want you to know how proud I am of you." She looked at me very confused. I said, "Listen," I said, "I had to deal with all this nightmare of a situation." I said, "But I tried to be the strong one throughout, but you're the one that really had to deal with this." I said, "Listen, it was your body that had the 3 miscarriages. It was your body that had to have the hormonal roller coaster ride of the emotions of dealing with all of this while being pregnant. Not to mention, you just had a baby. And now I'm not knowing what is to come." I said, again, "I am proud of you and I love you." My wife took a deep breath and gave me a look of relief. And in this moment we shared. We both wiped our tears and anxiously waited for the updates from the surgery. We went to the best hospital with the best doctors, with the best nurses, and had the best game plan. Now, no matter what happens after that surgery or what's next on this crazy journey for our family, we knew that we should hold our heads high. Hold our heads high. Excuse me. And have no regrets, because we've literally done everything possible that we could do for our baby up to this point. Nico's surgery was 4 hours long. During that time, Nurse Mill kept in contact with us throughout. Every time the number popped up on my phone, I was like, oh, she's calling. But, oh crap, what is she gonna say? It was so nice to have Millie there to be our eyes and ears, and it was the Cliff Noted version of the updates. She kept my wife and I very calm throughout this process. Nurse Millie's final phone call was the surgery was successfully complete. She said everything went excellent. Dr. Fuller wanted to meet with us shortly. I don't think I was ever happier in my life. Dr. Fuller came out, and I'm not really sure what she said. I blacked out. All I remember is my wife yelling at me to put this tiny woman down. I was so overwhelmed with joy and adrenaline, I didn't realize that I had hoisted Dr. Fuller clear over my head, like Patrick Swayze in the Dirty Dancing, nearly tossing her through the roof of the hospital. I gently placed her tiny body back down on the ground, and I'm pretty sure I offered to repay her everything from feeding her horses, paying her mortgage, and repeated the words over and over and over, thank you, thank you, thank you for saving our son's life. She laughed at me. She said, so nonchalantly, you don't owe me anything. It was a team effort. Your little boy is a very strong man, and he's going to be fine. And she walked away and smiled just as Superwoman would have done after saving many lives like it was no big deal and went back to work. Unreal. When I tell you I was by my son's side 24/7 the entire time he was in the hospital, this is no exaggeration. I was so fascinated, literally, to watch this little dude fight for his life every day. He was getting stronger and stronger. He was so relentless. Me, on the other hand, I looked and smelled homeless. I didn't shave, shower, or eat anything in days. I reached a point where I didn't even know what day it was. I honestly didn't know if it was night or day. And I could feel my body shutting down. I had a mental goal in mind to stay next to my son until Christmas Eve. As hard as it was, I went home Christmas Eve and tried to do the normal family stuff. We put the milk and cookies out for Santa, put everyone's presents under the tree, and then I looked at the embroidered stockings on our fireplace. When I looked at the stockings, I saw Daddy, Mommy, Gia, and Nico. When I got to Nico's stocking, I had a giant pit in my stomach. I immediately felt like I had to go back to CHOP to be with him. I told my wife, I'm going back. My wife pleaded with me to get some rest, have a normal Christmas morning with our daughter, and then go back afterwards. Completely delirious and not thinking straight, I couldn't believe that I left our baby boy alone in the hospital on Christmas. Feeling worse and worse as the minute passed, my wife suggested, why don't you call the hospital and talk to the nurses taking care of our son? I said, you know, that's a good idea. So I called the hospital, and the person on the line said, CICU, this is Steph. After a brief moment of back and forth, I realized that I knew who Steph was. Steph was a charge nurse at the CCU. I've been hearing about Steph for months leading up to this surgery at CHOP, as she's the niece of a close friend of mine. I finally got to meet her a few days earlier when I was pulling one of my all-nighters next to Nico in the CICU. I could tell immediately that she knew her stuff and she was my type of person. When I realized that Stephanie had Nico for the night, I felt the weight of the world fall off of my shoulders because I knew that he was in phenomenal hands. That night was the best 4 hours of sleep of my life. I thank you, Stephanie. We woke up there as normal as a Christmas as possible and went back to CHOP to see Nico. The remainder of our stay at CHOP we were treated like royalty. Little Nico started recovering fast. He was being referred to as on the cardiac floor as the all-star baby. He had many frequent visitors from the Chief of Staff, Dr. Jonathan Chen, visits from all of his previous nurses, Stephanie and Mill, and even had a daily visit from our superhero, Dr. Fuller, even on her day off. Name another hospital around here in the world where that's normal. From the amazing receptionist of the CICU desk that made sure that I could have a sleep room once a day to take a nap because I was walking around the hospital like a zombie, to the CHOP director of fundraising, Kevin McMahon, who had made a special visit to the cafeteria at the crack of dawn just to have a cup of coffee with me because he knew I needed somebody to talk to. I could talk from now until next year's Godfathering about all the phenomenal people at CHOP that have impacted my family's life and other families' lives, but there's not enough time in this lifetime or the next. Nurse Stephanie, I I can't thank you enough for being there when I needed it the most. I was looking for every reason in the world to come back to the hospital. Hearing your voice took the pit out of my stomach. It allowed me to enjoy Christmas with my family. Nurse Mill, you're an absolute saint. My wife and I could not have asked for a better person at such a crucial time in our son's life. When he was in the worst state of health, we truly credit his speedy recovery to the first few days of your incredible care in the CICU. At CHOP, you can nominate nurses for this thing called a Daisy Award. If you received or observed extraordinary service from a nurse that gave you care. I remember my wife saying to me, we should nominate our nurses because of how great they are. However, I didn't think that was enough. So I invited them both here today. So Stephanie and Mill, I need you to stand up right now.
Oh, sobbing.
I'm so glad in front of all these people you were able to be here so they can see what a real Daisy looks like. I hope you both know that you're my Daisies for life, and I thank you so much. Dr. Stephanie Fuller. Does anybody want to see a real life superhero? Dr. Fuller, can you please stand up? Who are you and where do you come from? How do you successfully operate on a newborn baby's heart when it's the size of a strawberry? How do you handle the pressures of putting children's lives in your own hands? How do you have the time to make every single patient feel like they're your only patient? Dr. Fuller, I told you before, I thank you, and I love you today, and I love you forever for everything you've done for us. I'd like to take this time to thank my better half, or should I say my best half. To my wife Janine, you are the strongest person I know. I have no idea how you overcame everything that we have been through, but we did it. And after all these experiences, I don't think there's one thing in this world that could stop us. Dr. Fuller may be my superhero, but you are definitely my super wife. I'm so proud to be your husband, and I love you. Now, how in the world do we thank people like Millie, Stephanie, Dr. Fuller for not only saving my son's life, but all the other countless lives that they've cared for? You cannot. But I can give you 300,000 examples of how we can try. The fact that all of us today came together for this amazing event and raised over $300,000, I think. We're getting there. We're going to end this speech. If we're not, I'll be chatting outside. I've seen firsthand as a participant in this event, as a volunteer, as a sponsor, what this and then as a patient as a parent of a patient at Children's Hospital, what this money goes towards. I am so happy to share that our son Nico just had his 6-month well check at our cardiologist, and he is healthy as a horse. He's the happiest baby I've ever seen, and I'm forever grateful to have him in our life. He has a super strong heart of a lion that will beat for a lifetime, and he has a badass scar to prove it. I look forward to bringing him back to this tournament someday when he is older so he can win the Marshmallow Longest Drive and win that hand-painted plate for his dad that couldn't make it happen. I thank you all so much for your CHOP donations, because without this, who knows if my son would have made it. I'd also like to thank my parents, my in-laws, and all of our family and friends for their love and support throughout this journey. On behalf of the CHOP Golf Classic Committee, my family, my wife, and most importantly, my little guy, Nico, Jameson, Ryan, I thank all of you so much for your continued support to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. And one day, I hope he gets up here and gets to accept one of these plates. But thank you so much. God bless you all. And go CHOP.
Wow, that was something, huh?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Nick, and thank you, Janine, for sharing your story with us. Stories like Nick's really demonstrate how the funds raised through this event can translate into breakthrough treatment for children and families like yours. And now, at this time, it is my pleasure to introduce tonight's special guest, Philadelphia Eagles alumni, Jason Avant. Jason was drafted by the Eagles in 2006 and played 8 seasons as a wide receiver under Andy Reid. And if you're a big Eagles fan like me, you know that you can always count on Jason to make the catch. So Jason, please join me in welcoming Jason Avant.
How do we follow that? You can't. That was Nick Ryan. Another round of applause for Nick Ryan.